The National Park Service logo.
Title: Yellowstone in Depth. Waters of Yellowstone.
A series of scenes, a steaming pool followed by a gentle river, then an erupting geyser. A torrential waterfall. Clouds of mist form while water rushes down a steep waterfall and crashes against the surrounding rock formations. Water flowing down a river, then cascading down a small waterfall. Next, trout swimming close to the riverbed. A hot spring, then visitors admiring a waterfall.
Beth Taylor, ranger at Yellowstone National Park.
People are drawn to water, and there is so much water in Yellowstone, even though we are kind of in a high desert environment. It is everywhere. So rivers, lakes, hundreds of waterfalls, and then the big things that people really come to see, geysers and hot springs.
Visitors watch as a huge geyser erupts violently in front of them.
It could be solid or gas. It can flow very quietly and slowly. It can be loud and roaring and raging and fast.
A raging waterfall, then small waves on the surface of a lake.
And then you have Yellowstone Lake, which is like an ocean in the middle of our continent.
The vast expanse of a tranquil blue lake stretching out to the horizon. Water laps on the lakeshore, then steaming streams of water rushing down a hill.
The variety of water we have here, I think it really makes Yellowstone pretty special.
Fumarole steams reaching up to the sky, then a bubbling mud pot. A torrential foamy waterfall, a river traversing a woodland, next plumes of steam against a bright orange sunset. Water flows gently downstream, then a man standing knee-deep in the river, fishing.
Andrew Ray, NPS Inventory and Monitoring.
Fishing is obviously a really popular thing in Yellowstone, and people come and fish these rivers, both because they're beautiful rivers to fish, but they're cold waters fed by mountain snows, and they contain native trout that depend on cold, oxygen-rich water.
Trout swimming in shallow waters.
Yellowstone is a stronghold for native Yellowstone cutthroat trout. But Yellowstone is a stronghold for lots of aquatic organisms, not just trout, but 4 species of native amphibians that are widespread throughout this place. Water is important for loons that are uncommon in this region. We know that beaver and moose, we know that grizzly bears, we know that elk, we know that bison all use shallow surface water habitats on a regular basis.
Mary Lewandowski.
I was drawn to work with water because I come from the desert where it's sparse and there's very little of it. And so you really notice just the magnetic nature of water, how dependent life is to it, and how much it's drawn to being toward water.
She climbs up the rocky steps of a stream, holding a plastic bottle fixed on a pole.
Yesterday we were working on a special project that was related to a mine cleanup outside of Yellowstone National Park. So I was helping to collect water samples and do water chemistry measurements to see how the cleanup was affecting water quality running into the park.
Mary bending down over the river, holding a device.
Yesterday we were working on Soda Butte Creek, which is a really interesting tributary that comes into the park at its northeast boundary. Soda Butte Creek was at one time one of the most contaminated rivers entering a national park in the U.S. And an interesting reclamation project spearheaded by a collaboration between the Montana Department of Environmental Quality and the National Park Service led to a cleanup effort that removed toxins that had the potential to enter Yellowstone National Park. That cleanup was successful, and we've been working on a water quality project that demonstrates that conditions in Soda Butte Creek that flows into the Lamar River and ultimately the Yellowstone River have been cleaned.
Water's rushing downstream, then a bison grazing on the riverbank.
Water is life, and water really drives the system. That's definitely something of interest for our scientists because with climate change, water patterns may change. Snow and rain patterns may change.
A bison standing in the middle of a snowstorm.
In the Rockies, we store most of our water as snow. It's delivered all winter long and then released slowly through the early summer. So changes in snowpack will lead to changes in water storage and therefore changes in river flows.
Snow-covered hilltops, then ducks and swans floating on calm wetlands.
Freshwater habitats, and in particular shallow wetlands and ponds, are things that are the most vulnerable to a changing climate. And so we should do everything we can to both understand but protect remaining habitats.
A river traversing a verdant grassland.
Those healthy rivers that are flowing out of the park are also providing a great resource downstream for everything from farmers and ranches cities, towns, we need water. And so having these healthy waterways in a national park is actually providing a lot for the folks downstream.
A torrential waterfall followed by a gushing geyser and a panoramic view of tranquil wetlands.
It's kind of fun when you're by a river in Yellowstone to think about the journey that water will take, where it has been, where it has come from, and where it will go.
Streams of hot water erupt from the earth. Next, a waterfall, followed by visitors strolling along a river.
Yellowstone in Depth, Waters of Yellowstone, produced by Stephen M. Bumgardner. Featuring Mary Lewandowski, Andrew Ray, and Beth Taylor.